This is very much a Bitzer video. I've been trying to do all sorts of different shit. So I thought I'll grab my Chinesium crap chrome rings and put them on. No, Gary, you can't do that. Why? Because this Chinesium crap extends too far. Sorry. Yeah, they go too far. You can see there, it sticks out too far. And also the same under here. So I'm going to have to grind these off. I'm probably going to do it in situ, because that's going to be the easiest thing to do to make sure I get down below the line. And again, I'm so sorry for sniffing. It's just, I cannot stop it. It's fucking allergy shit. Didn't have this until I came to America, but however, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. All right, let's move on. What have we got here? There's a bolt. This bolt has been powder coated by Gary Mees the expert. This is the brake master cylinder bolt with 2 brand new washers. Let's move on. Keep going, guys. There's going to be lots of interesting stuff in this video, even though you may not think so. Now, you remember the heater pipes? Well, they have to tuck underneath this bracket. Yeah, that's on the firewall. You will not tuck it under. You need to put the pipe in place and then put the bracket on with these 2 bolts that have also been powder coated by the expert Gary Mees. Next to it, you will see there is a... Oh, hang on. I haven't taken the tape off. Let me put it down so you can see. I wouldn't do this for anybody else, you know. There, you see the thread is perfectly clear. This is powder coated to the nth degree, and it is for supporting the vacuum tank, which is in the wheel arch. What else have I got up here? I have found this pipe. Yep, this pipe here. That used to send the vacuum to the brake booster. I'm still going to use it, even though I flushed it out, and by God, wasn't there some rust in that thing. I'm not going to keep it the whole length. I may chop it off here somewhere. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to feed it in, see how it looks, and then from a certain point onwards, I will use rubber pipe to link it to the vacuum tank and also to the brake booster. What else we got? Okay, yeah, this. You can see here, this used to be, when I finished it, perfectly flat. But as you can see now, there are lines in it. And to me, that's not acceptable. So I'm going to take the gauges off. I'm going to sand it down, and I'm going to re-lacquer it. I will also be using my special filler to fill in the valleys, shall we say. You know what that is, don't you? You don't? Then let me go grab it. Come walk with me. It's a bit dark in here, so bear in mind. I will go down here and I will talk to myself, and I will get my special little thing, and this is something you may want to consider. Okay, here it is. Aqua Coat Clear wood grain filler. What I will now do is I will sand this down. I can't tell you what grit I'm going to use because I'm really not sure. Probably something like 1,000 grit, depending on what the result I get from 1,000, or I may go down or I may go up a grade. But obviously I've got to take this off, this. to make it purdy, and the side doesn't seem to have suffered. And hang on a second, let me make sure. Yeah, and the underneath doesn't seem to have suffered. It only seems to be that this top has suffered, and in all honesty, I don't know why. I completely re-veneered it. I went over it, but however, I don't like that. It's not acceptable to me. Now, yeah, this is in a Conker's car. It's just to be driven, but I want to make that a little better. And as I said, aqua clear is the thing you do. Sand it, and then run aqua clear all over it. And then once you've done that, then you sand it again until you're sure that you've got a good level. And then once you've done that, then lacquer it again. But after you've lacquered it again, wait for it to dry and do the same shit again. You can do that 2 or 3 times. All right, next is this beast down here. Yeah, this is my heater box. Yep, you remember me saying I'm going to take it out. Well, there it is, it's out. What I intend to do, look at this one. You know, this fucker came out. It shouldn't have done. My plan, this is a rethink plan, is to put all of the I want to call them what To The Garage calls them on the Jaguar XK8 instrumounts. They're not instrumounts, they're rubber mounts, but on the Jaguar XK8 to hold the filter base, air filter base, they use a similar thing and they call it an instrumount. Well, I guess this is a heater mount. So anyway, my plan is to put these back in to the bodywork using blue Loctite. That way, the chance of them coming out is minimal, and hopefully these will come out. But I'm going to clean up all the threads just to make sure. I'll run a dye over them. Then let me show you what I'm talking about here. Hang on. Oh. I hope you enjoy walking around with me. You see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 that stayed and 1 that didn't. But some of them didn't want to stay. I had to put wrenches on them, particularly that one down there. Excuse me a second. That one, that bitch there. Yeah, and I had to put a wrench on that and hold it still. Okay, whilst I am here, I've got a clip on this harness which I'm going to take off because I don't know why it's there. I'm also going to drill here so that I can mount this harness clip. What else am I going to do? Oh, yes, hang on a second. Back there you can see that harness is, well, it's got a clip on it that it shouldn't have. But once I get the pipe in, then I want to pull that harness back because I don't really want it touching the engine. It's not touching, but I want to keep it as far away as I can. And then we can move on from there. Also, down here, as I've mentioned before, are the controls for the heater valve. And up here, hang on a second, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this all one-handed, which is not a good idea. These 2 grommets here are where the heater control valve, heater control cables come through. In other words, they adjust the flaps. I'm going to get these in place because it's a good idea. I should have done it prior to this, but I didn't. this has kind of given me a golden opportunity to do that. So hopefully it'll all work out. Now, any of you that are doing these cars, this is shit that should be done before the engine's in. Why didn't I do it that way? It was because of my brother visiting me. No, it's not his fault. It's just that I work by myself 999.999% of the time. And when my brother comes to visit, I have to use his body, not in the way that you might think, but I need to use his body to do two-man shit. No, not Fu Manchu, two-man shit. And so I put the engine in earlier than I wanted to. Could I have left it? In hindsight, yes, I could have left it until his last visit. But I can never be sure when he's going to visit. For, shit, I mean, it's 3,000 miles, it costs him a lot of money. He likes to escape and come and play with his younger brother. Much younger brother, I hasten to add. So it's not something I can always plan on. I mean, I can tell him, hey, bro, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Any chance you can get your ass out here, in the next 6 months? And I'm sure he'd say, yeah, sure, I can come out on blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't always work that way. So, I don't want to force him to come out here, although I'm sure he's quite happy to come out here. It's warm, it's nice, and he gets to play cars with me. Unfortunately, I can't reciprocate, but hey, there you go. That's what happens when you get old. You can't reciprocate. All right, so let's move on. Move on to what, Gary? You've looked over there. You know you've got to deal with that. The car is dusty. You know you've got to deal with that. A little comment here for you guys. I am very close, wiring-wise. Not finished yet, but I'm very close to be able to connect the positive to the battery. Yes, my temporary battery. And try and turn it over. No, don't worry, there's no fuel, there's no brake lines, there's nothing. It's just a matter of turning the engine over to see if it will work. And yes, okay, yeah, I know it's a Duralast battery. Hey, AutoZone, if you would like to give me a free AGM battery to put in my car, I will happily publicize you on my channel and say how wonderful you are. Maybe even the local one here in Queen Creek would like to donate a nice AGM battery to me. Perhaps I will suggest that to him and see what his DM says. Known as his dumb, his district manager. Okay, all right, here we go. Well, I think that's going to be it for this video. I know I promised I wouldn't do one to the end of the week, but I just chopped down a tree today. What else did I do for shits and giggles? Filled up my truck with tree, and well, that was about it. Okay, so this is my baby. This is my Mark II. That is my XK8. I do thank all my subscribers. You know what's coming, don't you? Get out in the garage, do some shit. You will feel better if you do.